I know you're gonna dig this.
I had your nemesis Cassper on. He told me about the boxing match. I need permission. I need you to co-sign me coming to South Africa because I got Cassper signed off. I want to make sure I'm there to announce. You know what I'm saying? I want to do my, my Mean Gene Okerlund. You know what I mean? I need to, you know what I'm saying? I need to do my thing there, baby.
But here's the best part about it for me is that I think we're gonna do it next year in May. Now it was supposed to happen this year, but it didn't. But the best part for me is whoever loses needs to shut the up for life.
You heard it here,
and that's not gonna be me. Not gonna be me. No, sir.
You've got a little one now, and don't you worry.
More reason.
Okay.
Yeah, my kid's not gonna grow up being dissed at high school that his dad got knocked out. I mean, I'll show you, this is 9 seconds. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So if that lands, it's slip. If these hooks land, you know what I mean? It's
But he's also posting his again.
Man, those things. No, that's not even boxing, bro. That's like, you know what I mean? Connie Ferguson does that stuff. I'm gonna hurt him. I won't lie. Slick, I won't lie, bro. I'm really gonna hurt him.
Welcome to the Takeover wrap-up, bitches. This is Tony the Don. Thank you for joining me. Finally, we've got we've got sight that the most anticipated boxing fight in the history of SA hip-hop might be upon us. Earlier on, AKA posted a tweet with a caption saying, "It's amazing how people can suddenly turn into tough guys when history and experience tells us otherwise. The time for talk is nearly over." Right, so if you've been aware of this beef, these guys have been going at each other back and forth. I think they are two of the biggest names in hip-hop in SA, and they don't get along at all. So since last year, it's been spoken about that there's going to be a boxing match between the two to settle their beef, which has been running for years and years and years. Ever since AKA slapped Cassper and actually wrote a song about it, which was called Composure. So what had happened since then is that at that time, Cassper was actually humbled, and he actually posted a tweet actually acknowledging that such a thing happened, that he got slapped in a club or something like that, or a lounge where they at. And at that time, Cassper's fans, or general hip hop fans, this was the beginning of the beef, and a lot of us were indifferent, to this response from Cassper. Some saying it's lame, and others supporting Cassper's big man stance on this issue and being a bigger man. But Cassper later on actually tried to do a comeback and do a diss track of his own, which was called Dust to Dust, which of course was a royal flop. And from there, he sort of got back to his humble shell, and he'll be going with that image for as long as this beef was going on, acting of course as a victim and the humbled one or the smarter one, right? But at this moment, Cassper had taken the bait, and he had actually lost because he attacked AKA musically, and AKA musically is a little bit better than Cassper, so he lost the battle, and that's why he had to retreat back to his old ways of being humble. Now, as time goes on, Cassper actually becomes a bigger personality in the game and is in SA hip-hop space, and starts, of course, flexing his own newfound authority on the issue, taking jabs and so forth and so forth. And things came to a head in 2020 when AKA sent a salvo of disses, but not only aimed at Cassper, but also aimed at Cassper's parents. All right. So what has happened now is that Cassper is a bigger artist, and now he's emboldened, by the public, because a lot of people were saying AKA was actually instigating this, and you can't bring in parents into, you know, your squabble as with your peers. You know, leave parents out. You guys can squabble it out. So Cassper, emboldened by this public support and people saying that he's actually being victimized here, challenges AKA to a boxing match, and this was accepted. Now, if you know, with boxing, negotiations have to take place from endorsements, trying to sort out the endorsement side, the marketing side, how the pot is going to be split between the two fighters, and other things, you know, in between that had to be negotiated before the contracts get signed. So during this time, both camps are pointing at each other. The one is saying, Cassper is saying, AK is delaying. On the other side, AK is saying Cassper is delaying. But what happened now this week is that a fan actually asked Cassper on his Twitter that, is this fight actually going to happen? And Cassper responded by saying, you know, AKA needs to sign. That's what he's waiting for, because he's signed, but AKA hasn't signed. And is waiting for AKA to actually sign, but also doubting that AKA will ever sign because he thinks he's scared of him. So 2 days later, AKA posts what I had spoken about at the beginning, which was a contract with the caption, "It's amazing how people can suddenly turn into tough guys when history and experience tells us otherwise. The time for talk is nearly over." Now, of course, this got Twitter streets excited. The fight is on. Cassper says he's signed. AKA says he's signed. Or not. What happens next is that AKA actually takes down the post and act like the post didn't exist. Right? At this point, Cassper actually then responds and actually trolls AKA. And it says, "What did I say? Tweet deleted. Tail tucked back into the ndono. All talk, no action. He wants to start fights at clubs and damage my brand that I worked hard to build so we can both suffer at the bottom. I'm not into that. Let's get in the ring. No bodyguards to save you." Then he fires another one. LMAO. That contract is going to go back into the drawer. It's been chilling in nicely for months now. That guy doesn't want to fight. I'll believe it when the signed contract is handed in. For now, I'm gonna go play FIFA with Capo and speak Kuku Kaka with my beautiful son. So, at this moment, no one really knows what's happening. Has the contract been signed by AKA? Is Cassper willing to fight? Has he also signed the contract? Because we never seen anything. He just says that, and we don't know where we stand. Are we gonna get a fight? Are we getting it this year? Are we getting it next year? But I think at the end of the day, the squibbling and the back and forth and swearing at each other and just the whole lot of animosity. At first, hip hop is a contact sport, so at first it was kind of nice, but now it's like really irritating. These guys, let's just get into the ring, fight it out, sort it out, and then let's leave it at that, and everyone goes about their business. So let me know, should this fight actually still go ahead? Do we really need it, or is it just something that we're excited about a few years ago? Or actually everyone should just go back and carry on how they're doing it and actually stop talking and just call it off, stop talking about the fight. Please do comment, please do subscribe, and please do like this post. Thank you. This is Tony the Don with the Takeover wrap up. I'm out.